right. Welcome to the WRBL podcast. We're doing a little bonus thing here where a lot of the non-Patreon members don't know anything about the W, including the commissioner of the whole thing, Pat Barker. This episode, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing Pat. I'm so excited. The W's put out so many great battles, and I want more people to see them, and we're going to showcase some of the best. And it'll be Pat's first time watching these battles, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, and let's back up just a little bit.
Yeah, please.
Because the WRBL content has lived exclusively on our Patreon.
Yes.
And I think there's people watching now. This is the first official YouTube release of the WRBL, and they're wondering, what the hell is that, and who is this guy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, if you're a fan of Roast Battle, you know who this guy is as a battler, but as what is your role within the thing? What is the WRBL? Explain it to the people who don't know.
Me and Mike Eden, who Mike cannot be here today because he lives in Austin, we're co-commissioning the RBL, which is the feeder league into the RBL. We are developing and running a league of the talent that will one day be in the RBL. They are all competing for a spot in the RBL. First place gets to automatically join the RBL, if that's correct.
That's correct, yes.
And the bottom of the league will be going down into the W. So it's all the cities are very competitive about it. It means a lot to them, which I appreciate because I don't want to do all this work if they don't give a shit. They, off the back, have been working their tails off. The producers, the battlers, they are trying to get better, and it's resulted in some really good battles.
Yeah, this is Tom Goss.
Oh, yeah, I'm Tom Goss. Yeah, I guess that's what you were trying to get me to say.
That's what I was trying.
Yeah,
I was
like,
you know, hey, I'm Tom Goss is a great place to start.
I'm
but
Keith
we got there.
Carey, yeah.
Yeah, so this is
that's all you wanted.
This
for
is
me
going
was
to
say my name.
this is going to be my first time seeing the WRBL. This was the result of so many cities wanting to get in the league, and we came up with this idea to have this secondary league and let them compete to earn a spot. And in addition to now you're the LA champion. You're one of the best battlers in the world, and I was like, would you mind taking on a huge project on the side for no money? And you were like, sure, why not? Because you're a psycho. And it's greatly appreciated. You and Mike have done a great job. I know the Patreon community has been very, very excited about the WRBL, and I haven't actually watched any of it, so I'm excited to check it all out tonight.
Yeah, no, it's so let's just jump in, yeah?
Yeah.
Do we need anything else? Let's show some of these battles. These are great battles. First battle, we're going to Hartford. This is from week 2. This was our number 1 battle from week 2. This is Abby Volman, who I don't think has any exposure to the RBL, versus Charity Gregory, who just had her first RBL appearance and got a number 2, number 3? It was a high ranked battle.
Yeah, she was number 2. Internally, a lot of talk about Charity Gregory as a potential rookie of the year.
Yeah, no, she's an absolute beast, and she's a beast in this battle. So is Abby. Let's go ahead and give it a watch.
All right, I'm used to there being like a bell, because that's what Matt's show is like. Welcome to the first battle, everybody. It's between 2 bisexuals. Yeah. We're figuring out who's actually lesbian. Charity, her mom is a clown, and her dad is a mime. So she comes from a long line of Halloween people.
Thank you, Alanis rigor mortis set. Abby Volman is so cracked out.
How cracked out is she?
Abby is so cracked out that she even laces her shoes with fentanyl.
Got him right here. I'm selling. Thank you for that insane clown pussy. This is true. Every person that Charity has dated has transitioned after they broke up. So some would say her pussy is like the Underground Railroad for sex changes.
I feel like Abby doesn't even own bras. She just wears 2 perfectly positioned Slipknot beanies.
They are perfect, aren't they? I'll make this quick because I know you gotta go dye your hair blue later. Charity looks like a tree hugger, but the trees have to remind her that they're just friends.
Billy. Thank you. Sorry, someone fell over up there. Thank you, Billy Pink Eilish. Abby, I love your metal septum ring. I just want to give you a piggyback ride through a lightning storm.
I bet you do, you No, seriously, give it up for Jeffrey Dominatrix over here, everybody. A lot of people wonder if the carpets match the drapes, and they do. Her pussy does have shitty bangs.
When I first met Abby, I assumed she was a vegan, because everybody already knows that cows are grass-fed.
Yeah! That's good. I love being called a cow. Went to Texas Roadhouse earlier. Charity is the type of liberal that makes me feel Republican. Like, I don't have a gun, but I wish I did.
Abby dated a disc jockey, but when he gets on top of her, he's just a regular jockey.
I think she has Tourette's. I don't know.
They actually no, but she did date a DJ, and they actually had a lot in common. Like he sampled the singer Lord, she sampled charcuterie boards. All
right, and we're done. That was fun.
So that was Abby versus Charity. That's your very first introduction to the W.
It was fun. I love whenever there's a new city, just like taking in kind of the vibe of the room. You could tell that Hartford has a really good crowd. I've known for years. The guys in New York have been telling me, if you ever add a city to the league, you gotta look at Hartford. And I always thought it was a power play from New York, because they're like, we can add Hartford and then go get points on the road, like right down the road. So I always kind of like rolled my eyes at it, but I see why they feel that way. It's a good crowd, it's a good room, and I thought they were both really, really funny. And the Jeffrey Dahmer comparison, Jeffrey Dominatrix didn't get what it deserved. For like the next two jokes, I was just staring at Charity. Like, God damn, that's a perfect comp. I would have never thought Dahmer, but yeah, that nailed it.
Yeah, no, Charity's face karate, which is what I call the expressions you're making during a joke, it cracks me up every time. She's doing all sorts of crazy, weird faces and reaction. It's also just like the writing in that is, I told you that cracked out shoelaces joke.
Yeah,
like there's some great writing, and no, the New York is not just hyping them. They are legit. They're very good.
Yeah, shoelaces laced, even her shoes are laced with fentanyl is a crazy good joke.
Yes,
there were really some great ones in there. Although there's also a little bit of the and in the main RBL, like Austin has kind of perfected it, but like the blunt force trauma of I'll bet you would like that.
That's my favorite kind of rebuttal. She had already set up it's bisexual. It's and just I love just saying the meanest thing occasionally. Like, it's a clever competition, but every once in a while it's just perfect.
I feel like it's at times overdone, but when it's unexpected, it's the best. It's like no matter how good you get at comedy, no matter how good you get at like writing and joke structure and everything, like neither of us will ever be as funny as like a well-timed fart under the right circumstances. You know what I mean?
Or just a guy yelling "gay" right as you fuck up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I love that. I thought there was camaraderie, and Charity fits in like with the profile of like new stars. I feel like we're developing in the RBL. Like, this has been a big like Tory Ward season from Chicago.
Yes, yeah.
Sort of that like nervous kind of like energy. and the bouncy kind of like awkward style.
Yeah.
But the really good jokes to back it up.
Yeah. No, the Wix effect, the little.
I caught myself because I said when Charity was on the podcast, I said she has a little bit of that Dan Wicks thing, and then he texted me afterwards, and he was like, "No, we're not gonna start doing this where anytime a battler is like." He used the R word. That we call. he's like anytime a battler is that, they're Dan Wicks. He's like, no, we're not doing that. So, Dan, I'm sorry. I promise I won't do that.
I'm not bouncy energy. It's not. It's just bouncy energy. That's all I'm saying.
It's true. Okay. I'll allow it. But yeah, great battle. I understand why Hartford. I believe Hartford right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're atop the standings, right?
They are tied for first place with Berlin. We're gonna watch Berlin later. Also, in terms of just stars to watch coming out of here, and Charity, she has 8 points. She is tied for first in terms of earning points for her city in the league. She's been absolutely killing it. That's the only time we've seen Abby, but Abby, I thought, fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, am I not supposed to swear?
No, fuck
okay,
that. Say whatever you want. It doesn't.
You're not worried about demonetization on this.
Well,
Why did I say that like I was learning my first word? That was crazy.
We will mute anything. I think you could say fuck all you want. That's
okay.
Fine.
Good.
It's there's other YouTube has their weird rules. We'll mute whatever. If we have a chance to make $8 on this podcast, we're gonna make the $8. Okay. You guys will have to use your imagination and fill in the blanks for what we mute.
Yeah. It's all slurs. Speaking of slurs, we're going to go to Dallas, Texas next. Nice. It would have been better fitting if it was Austin. No. So Mike co-runs Dallas with Jay Light, and they've put out some great battlers. This is my favorite one from Dallas. Sagan Butler, who a lot of people going into it warned me that she's great.
Mm-hmm.
They were correct against Nathan Beeman. Nathan's like a kid. He's like 19 or something. And they put on a really terrific battle. This is from DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth, Nathan Beeman versus Sagan Butler.
Thank you. I fucked myself on that one. Y'all are too excited now. So, okay. But I'm going to go ahead. So, last week, Sagan actually met Tony Hinchcliffe. And he didn't recognize her from her Kill Tony appearance. But I figure it's nice to meet the guy after riding on his dick for so long.
All right. This middle school choir director trapped in a teenage boy's body is Nathan Beeman. Nathan is autistic. He calls his dick his fidget spinner. And his autistic superpower is collecting calories.
That was a good one, you trailer park. Fun fact. Sagan's the only rideshare driver that has to say, sorry, no food or drinks, my orthodontist said so. Yeah, she's an Uber driver, but she's also a survivor of domestic violence. So no matter what she does, she can't stop picking up men in bad situations.
I'll make this quick. I know you got to make curfew. Nathan looks like he'd volunteer to be bait on To Catch a Predator just for the opportunity to be molested.
You look like a retarded Funko Pop. Sagan, she's a real big fan of Whose Line Is It Anyway, which makes a lot of sense to me because whenever you get into an argument with her, her points don't matter and everything's made up. Which is also kind of funny because at parties, Sagan never asks whose line, she just snorts it. And for those of you who don't know, Whose Line Is It Anyway is a short-form improv game, and Sagan is a short freak that has no game. And thank you.
Oh, dismount.
Oh, shit. Nathan wanted to make sure he looked good for tonight's show. Unfortunately, he couldn't find a full-width mirror. Nathan is shaped just like his sexuality, a big question mark. Thank you.
You know,
Nathan.
you get it. I try to keep my. I knew she was gonna say that. I had to keep my posture straight. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to listen. I have a rebuttal. I'm just trying to. At least I've never tried to pay my landlord in drink tickets.
I'm saving those all for myself.
Alcoholic. Sagan's polyamorous, but not by choice. Every man she dates is already in a relationship. Oh. Oh no.
It's an honor to be roasting the Rizzler 10 years from now. Nathan can rest assured, however this battle goes, win or lose, he will always beat me in a wet t-shirt contest.
Sagan looks like Dora the Explorer if the map led her to the nearest methadone clinic. What I'm trying to say is she looks like a librarian if she's sold crack at the book fair.
All right. This life-size Cabbage Patch Kid is Nathan Beeman. Okay, that one didn't work. Can't all be winners. Nathan actually attempted to take his own life by eating a bunch of pills.
Nice. I'm glad I have your support.
Yeah. And that was the only time ever that he didn't eat enough.
I'm planning to try again tonight. Depends on how, you know, my life's in your hands, Judge. Sagan's brother is a ranked battle rapper, which explains why she roasts like she's desperate for his approval. You know, it's funny because she actually puts a lot of like time and effort into her writing. And Sagan's brother rhymes the N-word with trigger, and he's still mom's favorite.
Nathan Beeman is a really great artist. He takes a lot of risks, just like being that gay in the state of Texas. He said he's scared of vagina. Don't worry, sweetie. It's more afraid of you than you are of it.
You're right, Mom. I'm not interested in playing something that looks surprised to see me.
All right, that's fine.
That was 6.
Amazing. God, give it up for these. That was Nathan Beeman versus Sagan Butler. I love both of them so much. Sagan, actually, she's put up 7 WRBL points for Dallas. Nathan, he talks, his joke cadence is so unique. He has a cadence of like, you ever see like a kid try to run up a slide in socks? Like it's
Yes.
so all over the place and so fun and jovial. I love their stuff. What were your thoughts? Yeah.
Well, I mean, first of all, I said this before the battles when I was judging the other night. On the heels of like RFK's comments about autism and everything, I was like, you know, the Roast Battle League recently celebrated. We just had our 2,000th battler in the history of the RBL.
Wow.
3 seasons, 2,000 unique battlers. And like I said on Tuesday, if they start wrangling up autistic people, we will be down to 6 battlers across the world. It is the most autistic sport that exists. And on the heels of Charity Gregory, to follow that up with Nathan Beeman was something special. I know you're not like a huge basketball guy, right? You're more of a hockey guy.
I'm more of a hockey guy, but I love basketball.
So there's a player for the Timberwolves named Anthony Edwards, and there's this, you know, there's a rumor going, and you know, Jimmy Butler had it too, and it's kind of tongue in cheek, but like a sarcastic rumor that they are actually secretly Michael Jordan's child.
Okay.
Because their games are similar, and you know. I need to know what Mike Eaton was doing 19 years ago, who he was fucking, because that is a chip off the old block right there. And just watching the pride on his face when he watched his son battle there. Yeah, I mean, again, just a unique style. That's one of the things that's separating the winners from the losers in the RBL is cities that have their own style, and Dallas definitely has that, and definitely so does Nathan, for sure.
Yeah. No, it's... Speaking of like Mike being proud, he is he is. I mean, this is all behind the scenes. He is so proud of Dallas and what they're doing.
Oh,
out there.
yeah.
He is so into developing them and watching them grow, and that's like the only time he's really sincere is when he's talking about how those battlers are growing. And it's really cool to see. Yeah, Nathan's great, Sagan's great. There's a lot of interesting styles here. I'm now curious. We should stick to it. Oh, let's go to Arizona. You haven't seen an Arizona one yet.
I have not. I saw a little bit of Arizona when they tried to get in the league before we settled on the concept. I know AV Reina, who runs things out there. She's
great.
She's come out to LA a few times. She's super funny. But no, I haven't seen anything since the season started.
So yeah, this is from week 2. This is Stephen Owens versus Derek McDonald. And the Phoenix has been killing it this year. They're in third because there are 2 teams in first place, tied for first place. And this is from early in the season. Steven versus Derek.
Derek looks like he comes from a long line of beanbag chairs.
Hell yeah. They do call me a possum dad. That's where I put all my children on my back and go to Fry's. So, make some noise for Steve Owens, guys. Better known by women as Leave Me Alones. Steve claims to have gotten kiss on New Year's. VR chat rooms and your sister do not count, bud. Okay?
My sister's hot.
He's like, I fingered her last month, doggy. Okay?
Nice shoes, dude. I can tell you know what Temu is. Derek's marriage is so one-sided that ASMR to him is his wife telling him good job.
Shoot, that's how we bonded. I get real close to her ear, act like Steve Austin. If you're my little torture, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Steve's so white, his favorite salsa is mayonnaise. It's also his favorite hair conditioner, too.
It's not even that spicy, I'm just allergic. Thanks, Derek. Derek, you look like you're a character from Harry Potter and the Order of Two Entrees.
They don't feed. Hodor does not live in Azkaban, okay, guys? Steve looks like a hobbit if he lives in a dugout of a softball field. He's only there because he likes to sniff the seats.
That's true. Like Derek looking like he animorphs into a guinea pig. Fuck you, dude. Derek is so diabetic, and like if you spread his ashes, a Dunkin' Donuts will appear.
That's really good. Yes.
Jack in the Mag.
Yes.
Is that his ashes or fucking donut powder, guys? Gotta do a little gummy. Every time Steve talks to ladies, it's like I have my VR headset on and I'm watching Love on the Spectrum. Yo, this guy's arms are stiff and he hasn't blinked at all.
I usually follow up. That's not the only thing that's stiff, but
he'll go, you widowy like me? Is this for real?
Is this for real?
Somebody pinch me real quick.
God damn it. Derek, you look like a Care Bear if his symbol was insulin.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Anybody got any metformin? My Medicaid is I gotta reapply. Man, the most pussy Steven's ever seen is only written in his notebook. I've never seen Steven with the girl, and I kind of feel bad. So, Steven, you can go ahead and suck on my titties real quick, doggy. Who wants a little leche? Frescas con crema? Look at that guy. He's getting hard right now, guys. It's your fault.
now I know where the
final roast.
Yeah, now I know where the secret sauce for In-N-Out comes from.
All right, last roast, give it up.
All right. Explain what we just saw, Tom.
It's that was I'm laughing so hard because when he lifted up his shirt and did the leche thing, you looked angry at me.
Yeah, it's on camera. We're filming this. They see what I did. They know what I did. This isn't an audio podcast. Yes. I'm furious.
Why are you furious? I did this battle a little bit of a disservice because of what it had to follow here.
Yeah.
They had some big pops. In general, I think a lot of cities are still figuring this out.
It's
in terms of they showcase. There were some great jokes in there. That's why I wanted to include it. Mm-hmm. There were some great jokes in there. Not all the cities have figured out, like, okay, you got to do every single joke has to be great.
Mm-hmm.
That takes time. I thought the Dunkin' Donuts joke I absolutely fucking love.
Yeah.
I thought it was, well, look, when he did the late shit thing, I thought it was funny. Pat did not think it was funny. I thought it was funny. The Whittly stuff going back and forth. There was very goofy stuff in there. I thought it was fun.
There was.
But it all got ruined when he did a move that has been around for at least 10 years, which is showing a little nipple.
That's who invented that move? I don't remember that one.
I assume Keith. Keith just always had his shirt off.
Keith always had his shirt off.
Yes, Keith
for the
always
entirety of the thing.
You're fat. Well, I'm stripping.
Yeah, but then Keith would have 5 haymaker jokes.
Yes,
was the major thing. You know, you alluded to it, and I think that's why the WRBL is so important, because what happened was the last couple of years, people would hit me up and they say, hey, we want to join the league, and I don't have time to watch a season's worth of footage. So I would tell people, send me your 3 best battles.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can put together 3 good battles, but then over the course of the season, you realize, like, oh, they're very green. They don't understand some of the basics of what's going on. That's what this league is for, and this battle is perhaps the best example of how the league is going to benefit everybody. Because by the time next season rolls around, if Phoenix is in it, they will have shaken some of the bad habits. There's little things. There were gems in there. That Dunkin' Donuts Ashes joke is one of the best fat jokes I've ever heard. And being a fat guy for almost my entire life, I've heard a lot of them about myself, about Keith, about you.
I've never heard that one.
No, it was great. There were little things. I mean, from the fact that one of them is standing dead center of the frame and the other one is almost off the screen entirely for the duration of the thing, to the fact that Derek, was that his name? Derek was reading off of his phone the entire time. Derek was also doing a thing that, you know, people have different thoughts on. I can't stand when somebody feels the need to rebuttal every single line. And, you know, I think the whittle back and forth was like a result of that. So it wasn't completely a miss, but more often than not, I just felt like it was let your opponent do a great joke and then you fire back with a great joke, and that's how you get momentum going, hit back and forth. But those are things that if Phoenix is watching and taking notes, they will learn, and then if they win the league, by the time they get into the RBL next season, you won't see that. I guarantee you, you know?
And I will say, Phoenix has been one of the most consistent cities in terms of every week there's something in the battles where I'm like, this can make. They have not sent me anything where I'm like, there's no way this makes the podcast.
Yeah.
They've narrowly missed quite a few times, but every time there's something good in the battles they send. And the one counterpoint I will say, because in general I do agree, don't turn it into stand up, but the rebuttal of my sister's hot, that
one was great.
That's hilarious.
But that was Steve. Steve didn't do that every single time. Steve did that one time, maybe twice, got a laugh. I felt like Derek maybe overdid it. So I'm not saying never do it. You know what I mean? It's if you're all I know are basketball metaphors. You can't do a turnaround jumper every single time. They're going to catch on to it. You know what I mean? But you do a couple of them in the game when people don't expect it, and it has more effect. That's all. But like I see the at the root of it, I see the basis for a couple of really good battlers and a really good scene.
Yeah. No, they have a great scene. I really enjoy what they're doing. Stephen Owens was actually the very first person to make the podcast twice, which was a huge milestone. He was the very first person, yeah.
Good for him. He just reached out to me today because he did a battle in LA. He wants to do another one. which on a future episode, when we do the next volume of Best Of, we'll lay out the official rules for eligibility.
Yes, because we I guess we somehow, it's probably my fault, got on different pages on when the eligibility.
No, it's 100% my fault. But we gotta figure
gotta
it
keep
out.
going.
Yeah. Forget we said anything.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's go to you often say on the podcast, sometimes what makes a great battle is one really technical joke writer and one just character.
Mm-hmm.
I love those battles, and that's what we're going to see with this next one from Milwaukee. This is Tyler B versus Evan Pack. I'm not going to spoil anything. Let's go ahead and give it a watch.
Hey, dude, Evan Pack over here looks like a new generation Pinocchio. Man, goddamn, a homeless skateboarder edition. Yeah.
Tyler, I can't tell if when you were born your parents gave you no vaccines or too many. Tyler, you sound like an autistic Ninja Turtle.
They're talking about how the way I sound, dude, you sound chintzy as hell. It sounds like your vocal cords are made out of paper mache. Dude, besides that, man, it looks like your face made out of melted candle wax.
Tyler, if you're here, who's running Whoville?
Dude.
Tyler, you look like you're always itching to tell Batman a riddle that you don't know the answer to. Wait. Riddle me this, Batman. What is 2 plus 2?
Hey, dude, a riddle consists of words, not numbers, man. Oh, goddamn dumbass thinks a riddle consists of 2 plus 2. Goddamn it, dude. Oh, dude. Evan, riddle me this, dude. Evan Pack sucked 7 nutsacks, dude. Dude.
That consisted of numbers.
And dude, Evan Pack looks like he steals his mom's lipstick to draw his favorite show, Coco Melon, on the walls.
Tyler, you look like your cum is Gatorade.
Hell yeah.
You also look like your cum has Gatorades. Right? No.
Dude.
Hey, the classic dumb insult is saying this guy's so dumb he looks like he would bring a knife to a gunfight. Tyler doesn't like that. He looks like he would bring nothing to a gunfight, you know? And he would get there and he would say, man, I think we could solve this amicably.
Dude. What I look like, you look like you sneak into a toy factory, you sniff glitter glue, man. Dude, you thought it was cocaine. It's baby powder, man. Oh, god damn it.
Tyler, you always look like you have an emergency string cheese in your pocket. Tyler looks like he likes to sneak gummy worms into women's drinks. And when he's not doing that, he keeps them in his ass.
Oh, shit, dude. Oh, man, you're crazy for that one, young boy. You look like one of Santa's little helpers, dude, all the time, dude. You help that dude out all year long. You know what I'm saying?
Tyler, by the way, I want to thank you for taking time out of petting animals too hard to be here.
Oh, dude.
Tyler, you look like if you bought a guinea pig, the guinea pig would convince you to live in the cage.
Hell no, man. It looks like you were born in the coal mines, man. Dude, you look like you spent the first 5 years of your life in a kangaroo pouch.
Tyler, you look like someone drew you with an Etch-a-Sketch. You look like Harry Potter if instead of fighting Voldemort, he had to fight his own gay thoughts.
Oh, dude. You look like Snowmeister's little brother, dude.
I don't get the reference either.
Yeah. It's all right, man.
All right, I'm done.
That was Tyler V versus Evan Pack.
Yeah.
Like I said, one guy being a character, one guy bringing the jokes. I felt bad because we talked about this on the podcast. We were so focused on Tyler because he's so unique that we did not acknowledge enough how great some of those Evan jokes were. He had some really unique jokes. The amicably, the riddle thing before he set up Tyler for one of the funniest rebuttals I've ever heard. What were your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I mean that is the only downfall when somebody is that big of a character. I remember the only time I battled out in New York was against Christy Cello, and she was like a big character, and she was just having kind of like a meltdown during the battle. And it went really well for me. I won, and then they posted online, and you read the comments, and there were like 100 comments, and not one of them even mentioned me. I might as well have not even been there.
Yeah.
Every comment was just like, "What is wrong with this woman?" And it's like you just become almost like window dressing at that point. And you're right, I could not take my eyes off of Tyler. I have no idea what the hell any of that was. It was like,
but it was funny. It made no sense, but it worked.
It was like McLovin playing a mumble SoundCloud rapper in like a made-for-TV movie. It was insane, but it was very entertaining. Evan, I have a feeling if Brian Moses hasn't seen him yet, when he does, he will fall in love because he's Luke Binkow-esque.
Yes. He loves a young-looking boy.
He's really into it. Yeah, to a troubling degree. But no, I thought Evan had some really, really good jokes. He did what you do in that situation, which is you stay in the pocket, you let him do his thing, you don't try to play his game, you have better jokes and they will stand out over time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tyler was. Remember how I said last battle, I don't like it when they rebuttal every single thing? When you're Tyler, you can.
Yeah, when you're Tyler, I'm not going to tell you how to do anything.
Absolutely. You got to decide, am I trying to be a joke writer or a weirdo? And if you're going to be a weirdo, you can rebuttal everything, because that's when you come up with gold. You know, Digits in the early days, Digits would fire back and they'd be like, "Oh, Digits is stupid," and his rebuttal would be like, 2 + 2 is 4, ha ha ha, and like the whole crowd would go nuts.
Yeah, because it's insane.
But if you're just playing it straight and you're like, "Oh, I'm just a comedian, I wrote 5 jokes," and then you're gonna use 2 + 2 is 4 as a rebuttal, save your energy. But if you're Tyler or Digits or one of those guys, yeah, feel free. I thought he was really entertaining. I thought the battle was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd say once a week, Mike Eden texts me, "You crazy for that one, young boy." It's the first time I heard riddles consist of words, not numbers. I was getting off work. I got in my car and I was listening to the battle for the first time.
Sure.
And I had to pull over because I'll be honest, when I first heard Tyler, my first thought was, "Fuck this guy," because I thought it was a character. It was absolutely I hate it. And then he won me over so fucking hard by being super funny. And I also, Moses talks a lot about like white guys doing black sense or however he's talking. I think that is sincerely him. I don't think he's trying to put on anything. I think he looks like an IT nerd who just talks that way. Like there's such a contrast, but I think he's being sincerely him, and it's very fun.
I hope so.
Yes.
I hope so. That's where I draw the line. If I think that you are the character that you're doing on stage, I'm a fan. I sniffed one out earlier this season.
Oh yeah. Oh.
There's a character, and I said off air, I think they're faking. And then I got confirmation about a week ago that they're faking. So if you're one of the people out there who's faking, I might be onto you.
Yeah.
But then there are some people who are just delightful, like just quirky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In different ways. And like Charity and like Tori Ward in the main RBL, super like quirky and fun and everything, and it seems authentic. I'm on the fence about Tyler. I got to see more Tyler before I make a decision.
You're on the you think he that was an act? If that was an act, he needs to be in LA making movies.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. If it's genuine, keep battling. If it's an act, move to LA and stop battling.
Yeah.
Get into acting. It was fun, though. A lot of fun.
It was very fun, yeah. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to hop around a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump to New Orleans. I think they were a little frustrated because missed a countdown a couple weeks, and then, boom, they start hitting. And they start hitting hard. They're so on top of it. There was an episode where I was like, they almost made it, and I couldn't hear them. And then literally the next week, they're like, we changed everything. We changed the sound. We changed the... They are on top of it. They want it bad. And it's reflected in this very fun battle versus Kevin Little, and I never learned how to say your last name. I'm so sorry, Mike. Mike Honor. Honore? I don't know. I don't speak Cajun. But Kevin versus Mike, New Orleans. This is from week 5. It was the number 1 battle. Let's give it a watch.
We did not decide before who's going first.
I'll go first.
Kevin's going first. 3, 2, 1, roast!
Ladies and gentlemen, all rise for the Honorable Judge Philip Banks, now presiding. Uncle Phil looking ass.
That's good. Good job. Man. That's the most claps you ever got. Well, actually, the most claps you ever got was when your tears was clapping when you was running from the cops.
I wasn't running, they caught me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Medea goes to open mics.
Got it. I think it's funny that his name's Kevin Little, because it's ironic. He could have a different ironic last name, like Kevin Smart, or Kevin Funny, or Kevin didn't disappoint his parents.
Mike is somehow built like a busted can of biscuits and a bell pepper at the same damn time.
Delicious.
It is. I'm picturing a bell pepper.
Kevin is what happens if you shave down a Sasquatch and made him listen to only bounce music and Dave Matthews. I'm not done.
Mike looks like the genie from Aladdin and Suge Knight had a baby.
Kevin's showing his dick to more children than he has women, and neither one wanted to see it.
They were child women.
That's just a child.
I know where I saw Mike before. It was on the Nature Channel.
Yes.
Oi, here we have the elusive creature, the big backopotamus, whose size of his back can grow to the island nation of Micronesia. Born with both type 1 and type 2 diabetes. It's a rarity to see him in the wild.
Never heard a fat joke in a bad Australian accent. That's cool. You look like you own a skate shop that's a front for human trafficking.
I'd be into that. You look like the Russian nesting doll that holds every failed PE teacher inside of it.
I get mad because you got touched by your PE teacher. Kevin looks like he plays in a neo-Nazi punk band called the Dropkick Darkies.
Thank you for taking your time out of your busy day from breaking through walls to sell sugary drinks to inner city children. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah! Look at that!
The crowd's going nuts this whole time.
I don't have any.
The first time I saw Mike, I was a child and I had to play the pokey flute to get him out of the way of a Pokemon Center. I'm saying he looks like a Snorlax with bad credit. That's all I'm saying. Is that it?
That's it. I'm good. Yeah. I've heard every fat joke.
How about it, folks?
That was Kevin versus Mike. I thought there were some really funny jokes in there.
Yeah.
I look, we've heard a bunch of Kool-Aid jokes. That's not my favorite joke. Ignore that one. There's other good ones in there.
It's okay. Also, like, yeah, I mean, you know, we've heard a lot of jokes a lot of times.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And if you're a brand new city who is just like getting into this roast battle thing, I can't expect you to be held to a standard where it's like, oh, so-and-so did that joke 9 years ago. How the, you know, I thought that there was a lot of good stuff there for sure.
Yeah. No, the biscuits joke, just the way you opened the judge, Judge Philip Bank, like there's some very funny jokes in there. The crowd was going fucking the whole they're like egging him on. Like it's a scene from the ass to ass scene from Requiem for a Dream. They're like, they're going nuts for it.
I thought you were gonna say Fight Club. You went ass to ass. My God. All right.
You gotta keep it fresh. Yeah. Those guys were excited in that movie, and so is this crowd. Is my point. But yeah, no, I thought it was a lot of.
It was a good battle. Solid fundamentals of roast battling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's an art form to references within roast battle. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I say this all the time when I teach like roast writing classes. Like when I battled Keith had a great joke where he said, Pat's dad died of a heart attack. He would have survived, but Pat made the ambulance stop at Arby's.
Yes.
One of my favorite jokes ever written about me. And I always tell people it would have been funny no matter what the fast food restaurant was, but
Arby's is the funniest.
Arby's is the funniest fast food restaurant.
Yes.
You change it to McDonald's, it's not as good of a joke.
No.
Sorry. These guys had a Fresh Prince reference against a black guy is always going to hit. A Dave Matthews Band reference is an elite level white guy reference.
Yeah.
The Dropkick Murphys thing was
Dropkick
really well
Darkies,
done.
I fucking love that joke.
Yeah, the Medea reference. That's a cheat code. You battle any black guy, you make a Medea reference. I'm opening the floodgates now. By week 10, I'm going to be like, no more Medea jokes, please,
Yes.
for the love of God. But it always seems to work. They had the basics, the fundamentals of roast battling down. They were not in their notes the entire time. They were doing their jokes. They were prepared. The crowd was really good. What I love about these, like you say, oh, strike that. None of these battles are perfect.
No.
But they all have different things where it's like, oh, they have something there. And
Yes.
if they keep doing that and then take these other things that maybe aren't working and just turn those down a little bit, they could be something there. And I definitely see a lot of that out of New Orleans.
Yeah. New Orleans, they're on the right track. I also want to give a shout out to Crockett McKelvin, who I was torn between one of his battles and one of these battles, and I went with this one because it sounds better. But Crockett he's this dude with a mullet. He's a great writer. He's very thorough, Cajun, he's got the whole white trash demeanor to him. He is so much fun, and I'm sure if we continue doing this, you'll see a Crockett McKelvin battle. He's great. I wanted to shout him out as well as give these guys their props from New Orleans.
Shout out to Crockett, man. Great name. Great name.
Imagine a guy named Crockett.
I already am,
Yep.
and I think I'm
You
picturing
nailed
him
it.
exactly. Okay.
You nailed it.
Hell yeah.
All right, we're going to show you next one. One thing you've mentioned a lot is it gives a huge bonus to cities when they have a distinct voice.
Mm-hmm.
There can be flaws in that voice, but they have a specific way of doing it. The scene, the city, the battlers, they're all in on this is how we do it, this is how we present ourselves, and they don't even think to do it a different way. That's been Berlin this season. Berlin, there have been some controversy. We're like, I don't like that joke, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. They're crushing. They are crushing that room, and then they also have you know what? I'm over explaining. Let's just watch. This battle was great. Everyone agreed this battle was great. This was a number one battle. Bless you. From Berlin. This is Eunice versus Freddie Grau.
That's sympathy points. All right. Sweet.
So who starts?
Who wants to? What's the vibe?
I think I want to.
Oh, what do you think, Auntie?
Because I just want to preface this with saying, like, I'm like a lot older than him, so I kind of have motherly feelings towards him because he's so cute. Look at him. He's just like a little teddy bear. It's gonna be so weird because he's gonna say like mean things. It's gonna be so adorable. So here we go. Eunice is preparing for his hot girl summer, also known as Ramadan. He is fasting right now. Oh, could be a phone. Should I?
It's not the phone.
It's not the
phone.
It's not the phone. I'm sorry.
It's that one.
Okay. Okay. He's preparing for his hot girl summer, also known as Ramadan. He's not just fasting food, but he also is
podcasting, sex appeal, and critical thinking. He's kind of undefinable age-wise. He could either be a 55-year-old 4 or a 29-year-old 4. Eunice is Moroccan, but his personality is more like a Moroccan chai latte, like a little bit of spice, but mostly milk.
Milk makes my bones stronger.
That's right.
I love Freddie. I really do, you guys, and it's important to say. By the way, thank you very much for coming dressed as a librarian who discovered her first erotic novel.
Okay.
Dude, you look like most of the sex you've ever had was literary. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... I feel like the idea of, like, your idea of, like, a sexy night involves, like, candles and a vibrator and reading up on the, like, romantic escapades of Catherine the Great and her horse.
Eunice read his first book last year. He was so proud when he told me.
Only 3 pictures, bro.
When I first heard that Eunice has a degree in physics, I was so surprised because he doesn't really look like a virgin.
Disagree.
But Eunice is a super nice guy. He obviously has a lot of friends online. Because he has a podcast about anime, and that really is the only way for him to get main character energy. He actually has a girlfriend now, as we know, and she's amazing. She's pansexual, which was really helpful in the beginning because she was like, is it a man, is it a woman, is it a child? I'll fuck it.
Bro, I got laid. That's good in my book. As you heard before, Freddie, she grew up a Baptist Christian. She doesn't believe anymore, but like, you know, she was big into all that thing, right? Her dad was a pastor. She built a church when she was young, right? She even prayed up to 5 times a day, which, to be fair, you know, as a Muslim, game recognizes game. I mean, like, it's just, game recognizes game. She would have made the heaven leaderboard if she didn't, like, you know, choose to become a huge slut. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... would have been an amazing afterlife. No more. Hell.
He's just in his rebellious phase. It's so cute.
Fire.
So, as a physicist, Eunice obviously knows all about the physical laws and like the law of gravitation, which is what Eunice calls his body type. The theory of relativity, which is what we call Eunice's comedy. Relatively funny.
Good God.
This is very hard for me to deliver because I don't actually understand what I'm saying.
You're doing good so far. You're doing good.
The law of quantum mechanics, which is Eunice's moves in the bedroom. And then, of course, the famous thought experiment of Schrodinger's cat, which is what his girlfriend is asking. And she's like, is it in? Is it not? Is it not?
I love that.
Great.
Cat joke. Yeah.
Really good.
10 out of 10 funny. 7 out of 10 because the last 2 were the same thing.
Ism takes over.
Fair.
Listen.
That was the most German heckle ever.
Listen, I love Freddie. We hang out a lot. But what you don't know about Freddie is she's a hater. She's a grade A hater. Every time I see her, she's like, hey, why is your club so cold? Why don't you shave your facial hair? Why don't you get your girlfriend a Christmas present? You know what I mean? I believe that God must have been very relieved when you, like, stopped believing in him. Dude, he really did. He really did. Every time he prayed, he was just like, stop the fucking nagging! Stop! She's working Jews and Muslims!
back to where he came from, Vienna. So yeah, Eunice was born in Austria, grew up here. He speaks perfect German, and he's a little bit embarrassed that he's so like white. So he overcompensates with smoking a lot of shisha because he wants a little bit of that edge, and so now his lungs have a little bit more flavor than his personality. And I think it's just so cute because like he just wants to like appear like a little bit of a gangster. He doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs, but are you a cute little hookah gangsta? Yeah? Are you a cute little gangsta? Are you gonna go as a gangster for Halloween with a baby hookah? What's your favorite flavor though? It's a double apple? That's too strong. I think his favorite flavor is Sprudelwasser. No. It's Sprudelwasser medium, okay?
Absolutely. It makes my belly hurt less.
Is this what German sexual tension looks
like? Ladies and gentlemen, Freddie started doing stand-up 9 years ago. Everyone who started with her is doing arenas. She's here with us. Listen, it's really sucks because not only is she very funny, she's super talented. She's amazingly talented. She wrote 2 amazing stand-up shows. She wrote many times for TV. She's writing a movie as we speak right now. The only thing she never figured out how to write is a check for any amount above 255 euros.
That hurts. That just hurts, man. So, Eunice actually went to a French school because Morocco used to be a French protectorate. And understandably, a lot of Moroccans still kind of hate the French. And that is also the reason why Eunice insists of being bad in bed, because that's how seriously he takes political resistance. The orgasm is colonial propaganda.
Who told you it was better in bed, huh? Back to grade school. No, seriously, I really love Freddie. I love her a lot. She's someone I can always go to for advice. As she said before, I really like to call her auntie, just to make very clear that we're not from the same generation. Listen, she may be very judgy with or without religion, but she's also very kind. As I said before, she opened a church at the young age of 22 years old. Do you know how amazing that is for a woman to do that in East Germany in 1763? She could have been burned at the stake! Give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Eunice versus Freddie.
That was great.
I love this battle, and it showcases what I love about Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're doing jokes that don't fully connect, but what they're always doing is they're always going very personal.
Yes.
And they're always going highbrow.
Mm-hmm.
There are some incredibly smart jokes in that battle that I know for a fact people have gone, I don't know what that means.
Yep.
Their audience knows what it means, and they're diving into it head first. Those two things, personal and intelligent, has been across all of their battles, whether it's a number one battle like this one or Mrs. the Podcast. Those elements are always there. And there are jokes in there that, would I think bomb the belly room because we have there's a lot of morons that go there.
Sure.
But that is quintessential Berlin. Very intelligent, very personal.
Yeah, and I mean, look, the beautiful thing about roast battle is there's different styles. There's
Yes.
different strokes for different folks. This is along the lines of what I'm a fan of. This is what I fell in love with the roast battle, which is the challenge of writing very specific jokes for a one-off experience against an opponent.
Yeah.
That are specific to that opponent. And I learned more about these two through the jokes than I did in every other battle tonight combined. And that's not just a WRBL thing. That has become, when I talk about like the characters kind of overtaking the RBL this season, in Chicago and the Bay Area especially, you're going to get a lot of, surface level looks like jokes. Yeah. And you're not going to get maybe as much information. This is something that, as we bring up a new generation of battlers, like, we have to make sure that we pass down to the next generation. The idea is to exchange info with your opponent.
Yes.
To write jokes specifically about the person. You look at any roast that's been on, television, the Tom Brady roast, like, everybody knows about his accomplishments and achievements and everything. But can you imagine if it was just 3 hours of them talking about what he looked like? There was nothing about Giselle, his NFL career. It would have sucked, right? Yeah. You have to give your opponent something to work with. And then as a writer, you have to challenge yourself to take that, work within that, and write really good specific jokes about the person. And I thought they both did a great job of that.
In Germany, whether or not they hit the top of the countdown or miss they always do that.
Yeah.
They're taking personal swings, and they're I also I can't imagine a Schrodinger's cat joke working in so many, they're not taking easy outs. And yeah, of course, and I think the fear a lot of battlers would have, this is sometimes the fear I have, is like, that joke it's not going to work,
Sure, but it's also risky because it was 4 parts. They had the theory of relativity and they had the quantum physics. There were a lot of moving pieces to that joke, right? And it could have gone wrong any number, and not all the parts worked. But you come out of it, the closing punchline was great.
Yes,
and you give them points for swinging. Yeah. I did see Eunice before because Berlin was very close to being the international addition to the league this year in the main league. Vancouver got in 1 point after 7 weeks. It was very close between Vancouver and Berlin. I have a feeling Berlin is going to try to make me look stupid for that decision. And, based on that battle, I'm like, man, these guys could absolutely be in there. I really like the style. I really like what they're doing.
I hope Vancouver doesn't hate me, but look, all these WRBL cities, I'm representing them. I'm not representing Vancouver. So, in my opinion, they already did make you look stupid. I'm 100% back in Berlin.
Still 28 weeks left in the season.
Yeah,
Vancouver's got time to turn it around, but I want you to talk your shit about your cities. This is a league that you guys are all putting a lot of work into. I know the Patreon has been going nuts for it. They love watching the bonus battles every week. I understand why you take pride in the Berlin scene, because that was great.
Yeah. No, and I'm proud of all 8 cities, including one that hasn't even made the podcast, because they're all working hard. Now, where would that be from, Pat?
Let me tell you something. As a native Philadelphian, it hurts my heart. It hurts my soul to see Philadelphia at the bottom of those rankings with 0 points. This is the kind of thing that, if this was a sports team in Philadelphia, there would be people getting arrested. There would be domestic violence. There would be... Yeah. There would, if the Eagles were half as bad as the Philly roast battle has been, just in terms of results, because I haven't seen the battles, they might be great, but 0 points. If the Eagles were 0-6 at any point in the season, they would burn the city to the ground. So you got to get it together, guys, because the Philly I know would not support this losing effort.
I love you showing your roots. What I would say about Philly is they had a huge technical mishap at their first event. They do it at the end of the month, so almost every other city has 1 to 3 weeks ahead of them to get battles out. They do theirs at the end of the month. They had a technical issue. They still submitted all their battles. They may be at the bottom, but they're taking their lumps on the chin, and I've seen the battles, and they have joke writers out there. I don't think they're going to be at 0 points by the end of the season. I think they're going to be playing catch up and trying to get back to.
Okay.
We'll see where I'll
take a patient approach, but in 2 weeks, if they are still in last, fire the coach, fire the GM, trade McNabb. I can't do this.
All right. Well, we're gonna do one more battle here. This is from Week 6 of the W, also let me shout out one more thing for Freddie and Berlin. She is tied with Charity Gregory with 8 WRBL points. She's had 2 number 1 battles, which is crazy this early in the season that we have 2 battlers that have 2 number 1 battles.
I believe it. I love it. Great job.
She's a great dance partner, and she also does a thing where at the beginning of both battles, I go, I'm not really on board. And then by the end of it, she's told several jokes that I'm very impressed by.
Yeah.
And I don't say that in a disparaging way to you, Freddie. It's almost, I said the same thing with Tyler B. I have it with a lot of battles where to have someone not get on board immediately and then win them over is more difficult than to just kill top to, like, it's harder to do.
From a writing perspective, I just want to say she's been my favorite of this episode.
She's great. Yeah. She's great. Yeah, I'm not this. I hope she didn't take that what I said as an insult. All right, last battle of this podcast. We're gonna go back to Hartford for one more. This is Charity Gregory again. She's had 2 number 1 battles versus Victoria Lane, and Victoria Lane was phenomenal this battle. I wanted to showcase what she did. Because we already saw Charity. I know it's showing the same person twice. Some people might go, boo-hoo. Put up those battles and then give me the boo-hoo. This is a great battle. Charity Gregory versus Victoria Lane.
All right, so you may recognize Victoria from every porn video where the man has a rat tail. Victoria, she reminds me a lot of McDonald's French fry. She's hot, she's salty, and men only want her on the side.
Both of those things pretty tasty, so I'll fucking take that shit. Woo! Give it up for the walking egg fart. You're like if the Mad Hatter got lost and he fell down the glory hole.
Oh my god, that was a really good one. Hannah Montana Rexic. Doesn't Victoria look like a Barbie doll if the choking hazard was her fingers?
That's actually the nicest thing anybody's ever done to me. Charity looks like the type of bitch that's gonna fight you for having a plastic water bottle while having 30 of them filled with piss under her bed.
So specific.
Several Connecticut comedians, so I brought this for you if I'm free tonight, but usually I do my set and I say, give it up for the judges, but she already did.
Thanks, Shirley Pimple. They say you are what you eat, and that's why Charity looks like a squirrel that got hit by a car. You thought that what she came in here was a purse, you know what I'm saying? It's not, it's a bag of roadkill, so she brings it places and shit.
You be going for Arian Grande? So Victoria, she's 25% Japanese and 75% on her knees. Victoria has had so many miscarriages, we call her womb the suicide forest.
It's crazy because Logan Paul has been there, so that's Charity's got a lot of religious trauma, but it's because when she tried to get freaky with the priest, he thought that she was a boy, and he was like, yeah, and then he found out that she was a girl, and he was like, eh.
So it's been an honor to battle Lindsay Lohan if the movie was called Herpes Fully Loaded. Doesn't she look like she only swallows cum after it goes through a Brita filter?
Charity's very famous, actually. She's very good at these roasts. She's made a very big name for herself doing these roasts. She's amazing at the roast battles. But most people don't know that she got her first big break in one of them 2000s cleft palate commercials where they were asking for money for kids with cleft palate. You can still kind of see when you look at it. It wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying?
That was fine.
That's right.
Charity versus Victoria. What'd you think? I know there's something pressing on your mind. We want to talk about.
I love the way you just said charity.
I said one of their names weird, and I was like, maybe I'll hide it by saying both of their names weird.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, it
works.
didn't work.
It
Yeah,
worked.
No, he immediately called me on it.
I love how. So this was the more recent battle, right?
This is I think the most recent battle that we are showing.
I love how Hartford had it all figured out, and then they were like, we need a bunch of tight shots on Robbie Goodwin. It drove me nuts. Get him off of my fucking screen. One of the beautiful things about RBL Weekly is that we don't have to watch the judges, and then you're just like forcing them down my throat. Enough.
So I will say, I don't know who that black dude is, but he has the best fucking reactions.
I didn't even notice.
Because Robbie's head is so fucking
Robbie
distinct.
was like leaning into the camera, so
Yeah,
it was all I
you
could
hear
see.
a good pop. Oh, it's the CISO King. Yeah.
The King of Burbank.
King of Burbank.
So, I mean, look, let's start here. Both really good joke writers. Victoria had great jokes.
The water bottle joke.
The water bottle joke was like so bizarre and specific, and it's one of those things that like on paper I'm not totally sure it makes sense, but the longer I sit with it, the more I'm laughing at it.
I mean, we have a mutual friend that I know you know who loves storing water bottles all over the place.
Okay.
It's a very like hippie homeschool like.
Okay.
It makes sense to me. It makes sense. I don't know why it doesn't make it any funnier if I try to explain it to you.
Right, for sure. And the thing is, I laughed at it. I laughed at a lot of what Victoria did. When she came out looking like Christina Aguilera on a TRL video from like 2002,
Yeah.
I was like, oh no. But no, she was really, really good. There were really funny, well-written jokes in there. Charity's jokes were obviously great. The thing that we're going to have to address here is, she did almost all of those jokes against Sarah Barnett a few weeks back on RBL Weekly when she had the number 2 battle there. I recognized a bunch of them, which the good sign is the jokes were strong enough to where I was immediately like, oh, I remember that one. The Brita filter, the Barbie doll, there were a few others. Herpes fully loaded. It was a lot. And the Sarah Barnett battle was one of those 3-rounders that I think went to overtime. So, I mean, ultimately, like, I don't have a problem with it. It's not like, I mean, they're her jokes.
Yeah.
She wrote them. For sure. I do think it takes away a little bit because of what I was saying, like with the last battle where it's like writing these jokes that are specific to your opponent and then to have Charity come out and like, it's like, well, you did them against 2 people and they were great both times. Takes away a little bit. Maybe for that reason, my favorite joke was the one that I know was for this battle about her being a quarter Japanese and then on her knees in the Suicide Forest. Like, really well written and specific to Victoria.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean that would be my only thing, and I want to be really clear here. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just the evolution of what we're doing. You know, back in the day when it wasn't filmed, and we didn't really do this in battles, but like judging, you would hear judges use the same joke every single week. Every single week, the judges would use the exact same jokes, and the crowd had never heard them before, so it worked.
And the battlers in the back of the room, every time we heard, I'm not going to recite the jokes, but there came a point where we all got suicidal because you heard the same joke.
I'll recite the jokes.
Every fucking...
This battle looks like Uber versus Uber X, which didn't make sense then. It doesn't make sense now. You look like you still spell boobs on a calculator. Wait, I heard a bunch. There were stock jokes, and your only objective at that point was to entertain the
paying
people in the room.
customers.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now that all this stuff is going online, I had somebody call me. I used a joke at the Comedy Cellar that I had originally written and used against Nate Welch 2 years ago in a battle. And I saw a comment there where it's like Pat recycled that joke from his battle against Nate 2 years ago. And like, they weren't taking a shot at me.
Yeah.
They were just noticing. And it's like, we have some really like eagle-eyed fans who are going to watch, and they're going to pick up on that.
Yeah.
You know.
No, and that's kind of because John Ojota was our guest on the episode where this came in number one, and he even asked me and Mike, how do you feel about it? I feel.
Oh, so you guys had the same conversation about this battle?
We did, but it was
particular.
before. So this battle and the charity RBL battle came out the same week.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay.
Which I think also changes a little bit, because if I had heard those jokes on the RBL podcast, it's still a great battle. It still definitely would have made the podcast, but I'm not gonna score it as high just because I've already laughed at those jokes.
Yes. Yeah.
That's all it comes down to, is I already laughed at. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're doing a battle and you're like, I just need to entertain this crowd, I want this to be a good show, and you don't care about the podcast, reuse the jokes if that's what you want to do. Sure. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you're trying to make a name in roasting, this is a thing. It drives me crazy. It's a joke writing competition.
Yeah.
Write your own jokes. Like if it's your first battle or whatever, you want to borrow a joke, write your own jokes and continue writing your own joke. That's the only way you get better at joke writing. That's the beauty of roasting. Reusing a joke, press for time, the fact that these came out the same day.
Yeah.
Makes me think that she maybe didn't have time to write all brand new jokes for whichever opponent it was. But
she's pulling double duty. She's trying to win RBL Rookie of the Year and WRBL MVP, and
she's trying to do a lot.
She's great. I don't want to take away from it
No.
at all. It's an interesting thing to observe as things like move forward, and it's the same reason why. When you put material on a special, like you look at a comic, they'll workshop a special for a year.
Yeah.
And they'll run that set for a year, and then they'll record it. And then once it's on the special, they just get rid of that material. It's just gone.
Yeah.
Because if people come out to see you and you're doing material that they've heard before, it's not like a rock band.
No.
You know what I mean? You can play the same song for 40 years. They want to hear it. They don't want to hear the new shit. Comedy.
It's rare that you have someone excited to hear a bit a second time.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, where it's like those jokes weren't any worse than they were when she did them against Sarah.
Yes.
But it's just like, as soon as I caught on to like, oh, I've heard that before. Okay. My reaction wasn't like laughing. It was, it was just muted.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, those are great jokes, but I've heard them before. You can only get that really big laugh once.
Yeah. No, and I felt, and I watched him the other way.
The other way, yeah.
So I was so high on this battle, and no disrespect to New York, but I was like, I think it's the W in me. I'm like, I think ours was better.
I mean, it's hard to argue. I mean, also, one rounder.
One rounders are so much easier.
There weren't many misses in that battle.
No, I don't think
not many at all.
Well,
if any.
I was the first time I saw this, I was mad because I think she did this joke in both battles, but the choking hazard was the fingers. I don't know if you could hear it. Someone fucking booed her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, someone booed her.
Oh, wow, I missed
and
that.
I got mad. I was like, that's a great joke, yeah, but end of the day, the point is, this was a great battle. I'm happy we got to finally show you what the W is doing, because this is the beginning of the season. I don't know if I know you remember. I've listened to some of the episodes. RBL season 1.
Oh, I remember.
The first 5 or 6 weeks.
Oh, I think back all the time to how high the level of quality of battles is now versus 2 years ago at this time. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these battles we've shown you, if it was the first year of RBL that they were sending these in,
no doubt,
they'd be making countdowns.
No doubt.
Yeah.
These cities seem like they're exactly where they need to be in terms of progression.
And they're only going to get better.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it's very cool to see what you guys have been up to. Like I say, we release, you do WRBL Weekly, you and Mike Eaton, along with a rotating, third chair. You've been doing that for the season, and those are on our Patreon, patreon.com/RBL Battles. We've revamped the Patreon. We got a lot going on there, in terms of the writers' workshops, the Zoom battles, all that kind of stuff. Every RBL LA release comes out early, uncensored, ad-free on there, so you can check that out there. But yeah, I really appreciate getting to see what you guys have been working on, man. There's some fun stuff in there for sure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you looking at it because I think everyone that we've shown and more, there's more that also deserve it, but they really do deserve the praise and recognition, and I can't wait to see where they go from here. This is just the beginning for them.
Absolutely, man. Good stuff. Congrats to Hartford and Berlin. 7 weeks in, tied for first.
Yeah.
Philly get it together.
Yeah, Phoenix in third, and then actually, do you care if I just announce this, or should I not?
No, please do.
Yeah, no, it's also been such a cool race seeing how it's been close. I feel like because there's more cities, more divisions, it doesn't always feel as close. But the standings right here, tied at first place, Hartford and Berlin tied at 16 points. Phoenix 9.5, New Orleans, Dallas at 7, Milwaukee 6, San Diego, who had a slow start but have picked up steam, 4.5, and in last place is Philadelphia. We don't have to talk about that anymore. This has been the most staggered the standings have been the entire season. And I say that while we have a tie for first place. It's been very competitive. Front to back this whole season, and I don't really have anything else to say. But good job to all the W battlers who are watching this for the first time, because you don't want to join us on Patreon. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, battlers, give us your money. I know that sounds so shitty.
I ran into two Arizona battlers.
Yeah.
Who it was Chris Herb, who's very funny.
Yeah.
He's been on the show twice. And Stephen Owens, who's been on twice, and they battled in L.A. I said hi to him, and they're like looking at me like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm running the W." And they're like, "Oh!" They had no idea. They had no idea who I was. And I told him, I was like, "Look, at the end of the day, you already saw your battle. It's just the Patreon. You got to hear what we have to say. We break you down and call you gay." And we tell you we like these jokes, and we call you gay. And if you want to hear how gay and which jokes we liked, it's gonna fucking cost you.
Exactly.
No, there's also a lot of really fun, humiliating stuff for both me and Mike on there, which is worth it in itself.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you, man. Let's get together and do this again. I
would love to.
In 4 to 6 weeks, let's get volume 2 cracking on this thing.
Absolutely.
It's great stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
You're hosting. What do you mean? Thanks for
I'm in your studio.
See you guys next time.
Yeah, fuck you.
Best of the WRBL.